amigos, bienvenidos al video de este día.
G'day friends, welcome to today's episode of SKETCHFLIX. That was Steve.
Hi guys.
We're doing Coco today.
Coco!
So I thought it was very appropriate that I bust Steve out and get his Espanol. I don't habla Espanol.
No.
Not very well.
No, but you understand enough.
I'm getting by.
Yeah, today, at church there was
I'll be sang in English and in Spanish.
And in Spanish.
Yeah,
and
gave it a go.
They had like a bilingual, message. So like our pastor was in English and he had an interpreter in Spanish, and she was like super duper good, super like specific. It was really great. It was cool for me to hear it repeated twice. It really sunk.
I caught something out of it when they were saying the home of the misfits, because our church is, branding, well, not branding, but the message,
kind of our motto.
Kind of the motto is, home of the misfits is what all churches should be, I reckon. But she said that it was the diferentes.
Yep. Different. Yep.
So I just poked Steve when she said that. Yeah. So Steve's gonna be my diferentes now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't speak it very well. The first phrase I ever learned how to speak in Spanish, the only one, is I'll have an order of fries, please.
No, that's not true. You used to, when our early days of like getting to know each other via Facebook, you would laugh in Spanish. You would spell J-A-J-A, which is really ha 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 ha.
Yeah, because I had an Argentinian roommate, and he used to do that.
Yeah.
He would write to me J-A-J-A-J-A.
Well, there's a difference, because in English we go ha 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 ha, right? H-A. And in Spanish with J-A, it's not ha ha ha, it's ha 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 ha.
What, that back of the throat thing?
Yeah, that's jota, J.
They actually laugh like that?
Well, no, I mean, that's kind of how, like...
That's a very broad generalization for all the Spanish-speaking people.
For instance, in Spanish, dogs, in English, dogs, what do dogs say?
Woof.
Right. Or arf, right?
Arf?
Yeah, sometimes that's Americans where they go arf, arf.
I have never...
Anyway, so woof, right?
Heard this. Woof is definitely, I think, what most people know.
Yeah, and in Spanish it's... What is it? Oh, I forgot. I can't even tell you.
I know Japanese, frog is ribbit, right?
Oh yeah, and we go kiddo. Right. What is dog?
What about Donald Duck? It says guac. Instead of quack, it's like G-U-A.
Or how about this? Rooster, right? So what's a rooster say in English?
I don't know.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then in Spanish it's kikiri-kiki. Oh, sorry. So dog is wow wow.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so we go woof, we go whoa 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 whoa.
Oh, you're joking.
So there's the difference.
Wow. Are you guys learning? I'm learning.
Little.
Anyway, we're so off topic at this point. 3 minutes in, we haven't talked about anything. Look, Coco. Coco, I think it's been long overdue, right?
Yeah, this movie changed my life.
Yeah, and because it changed yours, it inevitably changed mine.
Yeah, kind of. You had no choice but to go along for the ride.
Right, because we're linked.
Yes.
Forever. In holy matrimony. Look, I'll be honest. I'm just going to throw this in there before you get on your tangents.
Okay.
I want to say I struggled a little bit, but I don't think I did. It was harder to get into thinking about what I should be drawing when I'm watching this movie, because a lot of it's just skeletons. And I don't play in that realm often.
Yeah, but it's a good challenge, right?
Maybe around Halloween time. Yeah, so what I found myself drawing was just mise en scène.
Yeah.
Just things from the scene, and just practicing some skeletons. I got a bit more into it, started thinking a bit outside the box, but this one was a bit of a challenge for me, which I thought was interesting, and I'm very happy with what we did in the end.
Well, yeah, I think part of it is to avoid it looking scary.
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of the misconception when people talk about, we hear, Dia de los Muertos, a lot of people, for whatever reason, think it's, Mexican Halloween or Hispanic Halloween, and that's not at all what Dia de los Muertos is. It's actually, it's a celebration, it's essentially a celebration of life. It's a celebration of the life that you've lived on this earth, and it's a celebration of family, and you're honoring and you're remembering your ancestors, and you're remembering them in life, and you're celebrating them kind of in death, if you will. So the whole idea is that you take 3 days out of the year to prepare and to celebrate, and it's when they come back from the dead, essentially. They don't even come back from the dead, but they come back from the land of the dead, essentially, and they come to visit you and spend time with you, and you're honoring their memory. That's what it is.
I'll say this much. Steve is actually, his roots are in Ecuador. And this is not, you don't do Dia de Muertos there.
We do, but it's not to this extent. Not a celebration like this.
Okay. So there's still that honoring the ancestors type remembering thing.
Right.
Okay. So, because here's the thing, like, I don't know where most of people watching are from. I get the feeling that a lot of people that watch my videos are from the US.
Probably.
And have, I know there's lots of Aussies too, and some Brits, and I know that we're sprinkled all around the world, but if you're Australian, I think you could agree with me, we don't know too much about Latin cultures and Hispanic cultures, sorry, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I didn't know anything. Steve was probably the first Hispanic person I ever met. I just thought he had beautiful skin. I thought, how do I get a tan all year round? But yeah, so I think learning through this has actually been really interesting because sorry, I don't know if we're going to get too candid with this, but you actually started feeling very connected to your roots through this movie.
Yeah, and in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
Well, I think it just kind of starts with, so here's the deal. We were watching Beauty and the Beast, a live action movie. We went to the theater and it was the first time they showed the preview in the theaters for Coco, and it was like maybe a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, he was with the guitar.
He's the guitar.
Up in the attic.
Yeah, it's really simple. And when the preview was done, I leaned over to James and I said, I have to learn to play the guitar. Yeah.
And I said, why?
And I said, because they're going to do a Coco show at Disney, and I'm supposed to be a part of it. I know I'm supposed to be a part of it.
And then I rolled my eyes, obviously.
Yeah, and he was just like, whatever. And then fast forward to July, and I get a phone call from casting at work. And for those of you guys who don't know, I work at the Disneyland Resort as an entertainer.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get a call from casting, and they say, they're doing a show, a Coco show, and we want to invite you to be a part of the workshop cast. So it was like, this is so weird. So this was just the beginning of like my experience with Coco. So I went in and I helped open the show, and I learned so much more about this celebration and this culture and how rich in tradition and in life and love that it is. And my family, God bless them, when my parents came to this country from South America, they were quick to just jump into American culture, and I was raised in white America, if you will. And I went to a private Christian school, and I went to a church that was predominantly white. And so I didn't really celebrate many, Hispanic cultural traditions or celebrations. Everything that I did is pretty standard white American. Mm-hmm. And so jumping into this film and into this story and having to have, a legitimate, authentic background when bringing the story to life, in the show at the parks, really kind of made me sit and listen and understand and really appreciate my ancestry, where I come from, and and what my culture is. There was sometime, and it's not even like my family's fault, but I remember there was a lot of shame that kind of came from being Hispanic. I remember kids who would say to me in school, they'd say, "Oh, you're just a Mexican," and would say it with such disdain and such ugly that the last thing I wanted to feel was less than or different.
Yeah.
And to feel like I wasn't good enough because I might have brown skin, or I might be Mexican or of Hispanic descent. Nobody wants to feel like that.
Right.
So even for me, without realizing, I was so quick to just jump into assimilating into American culture. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I don't even believe, it wasn't until I was in college when I auditioned for a show, and a professor said, "Well, we weren't going to give you the lead because you're not white." And I was completely taken back by that.
What do you mean?
Because I was like, what do you mean I'm not white? I speak English. It's my first language, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. So it was a whole situation. So anyway,
it's so funny because in some ways it's such a blessing that you weren't so aware of your differences, but at the same time that you suppressed all of that and didn't get to celebrate what makes you different, which I feel like nowadays we're allowed to say is the best parts of us. Like we can accept the stuff that makes us different, and that is finally what people understand makes you who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know, I saw this because I've obviously known Steve for a long time, and I don't know, to be honest, I would probably sometimes forget that he was Hispanic. But it was so interesting seeing him after this movie and during that show that was at the parks. And that show actually came out before the movie had come out. So they were just teasing everyone with these songs from the movie. And I'd heard Steve sing them a billion times, so they weren't totally new to me when I watched the movie. But I had such a personal connection to the music, which is inevitably the best part of this whole thing, but undoubtedly I should say but I had this personal connection because I've been listening to my husband sing it for months and months and months, and I've watched the journey that he's gone through of, you know, acceptance and kind of appreciating and getting like excited about his roots and his heritage, which is something that made me feel really white. But it was, I think, probably the children at the park that made you feel the most connected to that, because you saw yourself in them, no?
Oh yeah, there was even like this, you just see just the, like, you know, just they were so excited to feel represented.
She had a big mariachi costume on.
Oh yeah,
it was beautiful.
A full charro suit, which was beautiful with this big sombrero, and you know, I was backed up by a mariachi band, and it was all live, and it was incredible. But I remember there was a story. There was a little girl. She was dressed up like Elena, the princess Elena, and she was wearing a little birthday button. It was her birthday, and at the end of the show, I would wave to the crowd before I'd walk away. And so I turn around and I wave, and she's looking at me, and she's kind of waving, and she hesitated a little bit, like she just wanted to run up to me, and so I stopped and I motioned for her to come, you know, everybody's walking out, you know, and I waved to her to come towards me, and she runs up to me and she gives me the biggest hug. And it wasn't just like, it was this hug of like, thank you, of I connect to you, I relate to you. Maybe we'll put the picture up here on this video.
Oh, you have a picture?
I do have a picture.
Oh, okay, I'll show, definitely.
And it was just this moment that she like was so excited that her culture was being represented, and that was something that she connected on a deeper level than just the magic of Disney. It was the magic, but it was incredibly personal. I think so many people just related to the show, old and young alike.
Yeah. What about the little abuelita watching the show?
That was one of my favorite parts. So so we come out and we do the opening song, and you know, strike a pose, and I move over to stage right. And I'm talking to the crowd, and I'm standing stage right, but I look to stage left, and there's a little abuelita in her wheelchair, and she just looks at me, and she kind of gives me this thumbs up and like this wink, like this nod, and this affirming nod and wink, and she's just all doing it at the same time, and it was so cute. Like, she's like, that's how you do it, you know. That was like, you know, muy bien. And then you know, throughout the show, I was kind of, you know, watching and kind of playing to her a little bit, and at the very end of the show, again, when I wave to everybody, I turn around and I look at her just to wave, and she has just tears streaming down her face, and she's blowing me kisses. And it's like, can you imagine like being, you know, that age and being at a Disney park and just finally, like, just the feeling of satisfaction that you're being represented?
Yeah, I love the show. I saw it opening day and closing day.
Was it different?
I'll tell you what was different.
What?
You're a lot more upset at the end of the last one. It was such an emotional experience for a million reasons that we could never go into here. But as well, it was a very heavy singing show for you, and this was kind of the first time, other than a few special events, where you'd been showcased as a singer. And for someone that's like, you know, worked on their craft for as long as you have, that was also very validating for you as well, right? Yeah,
you know, I've been very blessed, like truly blessed with the opportunities that I've had with the Walt Disney Company, and to kind of, be kind of, I mean, I sang in Tokyo, and I've sung at the parks, but for it to be primarily about the singing, was
this was a show about the music of Coco, and you were singing it. Yeah. So I mean, I see it very featured, but I'm biased.
Look, it was tough. It wasn't easy. I mean, it was 5 shows every hour on the hour, and it was me singing very, you know, intense music and speaking, and it was, you know, 13 minutes of singing and speaking nonstop. We'll for 5 shows a day, you know, 3-4 days a week. That'll slaughter you. Remember, I was sitting there with my
humidifier. Had a humidifier. It looked like a Bane mask.
Yeah, that I just had to my face, and so my voice was tired. And
it's so funny because it doesn't sound like a lot when you say it, but I know that if I do too many voiceovers, I start losing my voice.
Yeah, it's
a muscle.
It's definitely a muscle.
You can get tired, right?
Yeah. But no, it was a very, very, very special experience. And then getting to see this movie in the theater, and to kind of just the representation. And I mean, there's so many things about this story that... Look, so... yeah, I mean...
Moments that made you laugh in the film. I'm going to go with 2. Okay. When she took the chancla off.
Yeah.
And threw it. Uh-huh. And then when she... Frida. Yeah. Frida is my favorite part.
Yeah.
I don't stop laughing in that part.
I like the no manches.
I didn't really understand what that meant.
Yeah, we can't really explain that here either.
But yeah, he when he goes to see Frida's rehearsing backstage and she's talking through her concepts and she's very like performance art.
Yeah,
it's so funny, and she has all the little dancing Fridas, and they come out of a papaya and
with the leotards.
Yeah, climb up the cactus, which is also a Frida. I love at the end when they have the big sunlight spectacular, the the daybreak spectacular. It was called the sunrise. They have, I said everything, but they have the big screens beside the stage, and then eyebrow, like one unibrow lowers over the top of both screens, and then they blink. It is so funny to me.
You know what one of my favorite, probably, I don't want to say my most favorite, but is when Mama Imelda sings the very first time. And then what she does it on the Sunrise Spectacular is so good. I love that song.
Yeah. Oh, you know what was so funny? I hope this doesn't offend anybody.
What?
When it came out and they put the Frozen short before it, that 20-minute short.
I mean, God bless Frozen. And it's great, you know. It was just.
It should have been a Christmas special on TV.
Yeah.
Because literally, I mean, I was laughing. This theater was packed, mind you. Like, I know, we just stopped it. This theater was packed, mind you, and I haven't seen a theater that packed, honestly, since maybe Harry Potter. Well, I mean, I don't go to the theater on opening days or anything, but this wasn't even opening day. This was like a couple of weeks afterwards. It was still pretty packed, and all the little kids, as soon as the short came on, I thought the kids were going to get so excited. I just heard this huge collective and one of them goes, "We want Coco." And I just thought, why did you do this? My theory is that they thought people wouldn't go and see Coco, but they could entice them with the short.
Maybe.
Well, to be honest, it wasn't projected to do as well as it did. This movie isn't the best animated feature, the highest grossing animated feature in Mexico ever.
And in China.
Yeah. And there's so many people in China.
Yeah.
So
it also just won 2 Oscars.
It won 2 Oscars.
Yeah, best animated.
It's like right up the top of animated feature in the States as well, right?
Yeah, I think maybe 3rd highest grossing or something, or maybe 3rd highest Disney. I don't know. I think it's like Inside Out, Moana, and Coco.
There's Frozen's up there too, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe it's Inside Out, Frozen, and Coco. One of those. I don't know, but it's high up there. I don't know. We'll probably have those facts wrong, so.
And I've based all of my opinions off of them, so that just.
It might have actually been. I think that might be 3rd, like Disney Pixar, because I think it's Inside Out, Toy Story 3, and Coco. I don't know, but that was.
Frozen is definitely up there.
But that's Disney, not Disney Pixar.
Oh, yes. There's a difference. Okay, anyway.
Different franchise.
My point is, I think it did exceedingly well, and Steve's on a perpetual hunt for Coco merchandise. So if you found any that you think we don't own already, leave us a link in the comments below. I'm sure Steve would love to spend some money on it.
Yes.
I am going to leave you with a flip. Oh, do you have anything?
Well, yeah, and if you haven't seen Coco...
Oh, I just assume everyone has.
No, because I think people are just like, oh yeah, it's the nice Disney Mexican movie.
No, it is so good.
It surpasses all cultural and traditional, like, boundaries. I mean, everybody can relate to this film, no matter where you're from in the world, no matter what your background is.
Yeah.
You will love this movie if you've come from a family, which we all do. If you have a memory with a loved one, which we all pretty much do. If you have any loved ones in your life, which we pretty much all do, check out this movie. You will not be sorry.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
This year I got Steve a couple of things for Christmas that we're going to use for our ofrenda.
Yeah, we're putting an ofrenda.
We're going to have an ofrenda up, and I'm going to put Gren's coloring book up there.
Yeah, I'm going to find pictures
some pencils
of my grandparents.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think it'll be fun.
I see, and call that cultural appropriation if you will. Honestly, I won't take offense, but I just think it's such a great thing to do,
to honor the relatives that have passed, like your ancestors that you come from, because we are all, like, derivative from the people who came before us. There are still parts of us physically, emotionally.
My culture doesn't have any way to honor that. There's no celebration of people that have gone before us. I mean, I could technically do it on Gren's birthday, but I would just love to have an ofrenda. Like, a little place to...
Yeah, because they've all impacted our lives in one way or the other.
I would not be here if Gran hadn't nurtured all of that creativity in me.
Yeah.
So I just think it's fair, but...
Yeah, and I wouldn't be
I'm
here.
hoping that no one gets too offended. Honestly, I don't know if I hopefully no one will, but...
No, because I think we're honoring the culture instead of trying to whitewash it, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted a friend out.
Yeah, because you want to honor your departed loved ones.
Yeah, I'll call it something else if it really upsets anybody, but...
Remembrance Day?
That's what I'm doing, so I'll just be honest with you. Anyway, we love Coco. Thank you for watching SKETCHFLIX.
If you love Coco, let us know.
Why do you keep doing that?
Because I want to know all the people who love Coco.
Steve keeps on adding things to the end
Yeah,
of my voiceovers.
let me know. Because I read these comments too. So let me know what your favorite parts were of the film.
Yes.
And also what your favorite part of the SKETCHFLIX, because it's pretty amazing.
No, I'm fine with that. I'm really into the Bianca Alebrije.
I just want that on a shirt.
And I love the skeleton nude right next to her. It's very romantic. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you guys
Adios.
for having me. Hasta luego.